There's more to imagine when you listen. So let your imagination soar with Audible. Audible has audio titles from every genre that will inspire you to imagine new worlds, possibilities, and ways of thinking. As an Audible member, you get to choose one title a month to keep from their entire catalog. Enjoy an exciting reawakening of a beloved classic with the Audible original David Copperfield by Charles Dickens, produced by Academy Award-winning director Sam Mendes, starring Ncuti Gatwa, Helena Bonham Carter, and Theo James. This adaptation breathes new life into a familiar tale. New members can try Audible free for 30 days. Visit audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500. That's audible.com/imagine or text IMAGINE to 500-500.
Are you struggling to close deals? Cold outreach is wasting the time of both the buyer and seller at every stage, especially when sellers are using shallow and outdated data. Your organization can overcome these challenges with technology that translates comprehensive, high-quality buyer data into real-time insights. These deeper insights empower sales reps and teams to adopt the habits of top performers, which leads to better outcomes, like more pipeline, higher win rates, and larger deals. We call this deep sales. And we've built the first deep sales platform with the next generation of LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Right now, you can try LinkedIn Sales Navigator and get a 60-day free trial at linkedin.com/trial. That's linkedin.com/trial for a 60-day free trial. Let LinkedIn Sales Navigator help you sell like a superstar today. Just go to linkedin.com/trial and get started.
Welcome to How to Survive, the show that teaches you how to survive the things that can kill you.
Like raging wildfires,
Oof.
earthquakes, anaphylactic shock.
Oh, and the things that just make you wish you were dead.
Like floppy Olympic feet. How about riling up the cat ladies?
Oh, dang. He was being sarcastic. He doesn't know what sarcastic means, by the way.
No, I doubt it. Or slumlords.
Oh, yes.
Guys, I don't ever want to live under another slumlord again.
No.
In my life.
No. What would you like to do?
Hear our theme song?
Sounds good.
Ground is shaking under our feet. Mountains on fire, flooding in the street. Can't breathe the air, can't fight the feeling. Gobbling down Xanax ain't the way to be dealing. Gotta do better than just getting high. We gotta stick together if we're gonna survive. How to survive. How to survive.
Hello. Oh.
Synchronicity.
What just happened? Jinx, you owe me a Diet Coke.
But you don't want a Diet Coke.
I know, I
you
want a
want a
real
regular
Coke.
Coke.
That was a test to see if you really listen when I talk.
Yes, and to see if the audience listens.
Yeah, if they really know my likes and needs. And if Coke wants to send me some Coke.
Ooh, what if you got like a whole case of Mexican Coke?
Oh, in the little bottles?
In the little glass bottles?
I'd be so happy, Mexican Coke.
I've told you about...
Are you listening, Mexican Coke?
Hola. That's all I know from doing Lingo for 2 years. Yeah.
Only hola.
That's it.
I know.
That's all I know.
Oh, ¿cómo está?
Yeah, how are you?
Muy bien.
Muy bien.
I think we know a little.
Oh, boy. I always
Everybody
want to go
knows.
back to French. Even though I'm not at all
Yeah.
fluent in French. My early junior high and high school
Yes.
training, like I still think in
It imprinted.
French when I'm trying to do Spanish.
Yeah, it imprinted.
It imprinted.
Yeah.
Not in any way that helps.
Nope.
I can't go to the Paris Olympics and walk around and talk and be fluent or anything.
No. You can't go hang out with Kelly Clarkson and what's the guy that's doing the commentary with her? The
football player.
big lug.
Is it Eli Manning?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like, I know I've enjoyed some of those baguettes and red wine and it's good. You know what? Let's get started. But if we have time later, I want to tell you guys that we have a dog at our house.
Oh, is this the sleepover?
Yeah, we're having a dog sleepover, and I want to give you all the information about this dog.
Okay.
But we might not have time. We'll see how it goes. It's a little teaser for later.
I'm excited.
There's some cute stuff, and then there's some shocking stuff. Speaking of shocking.
Penis?
No, it's a girl.
Oh, okay.
I would not have a dog that's a boy in my house. Well, I would have a dog that's a boy in my house for a sleepover, but maybe not as a permanent resident.
Why? Are they just more aggressive or something?
I don't want lipstick penis in my house.
Oh, that's why.
It freaks me out. You know, when they get like so happy and then suddenly you see the lipstick.
Even if they're fixed, do they get the lipstick?
Yeah, they get lipstick.
Even if they're fixed?
I think so. Garen, do you have boy dogs?
Dexter's
a boy.
He's a
Does
boy
he
dog.
get lipstick penis?
He has.
Sometimes when you're just petting him and he's like really happy.
No, sometimes there's been times where it just spontaneously happens and he starts going at it and I'm like, why is this happening?
But Dexter's fixed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I don't understand what fixed
What
is.
if we found out he never got his dog neutered and Dexter's just going around Burbank?
Yep.
Burbank? Where do we live?
Dozens of-
He's just going around
Van
Palmdale. I'm confusing everyone so
Palmdale.
they don't know where Garen lives because he's got a lot of stalkers. Just going around Lancaster.
in worse and worse neighborhoods.
Hey, people live in those neighborhoods that might be our listeners. So
That's true. Be
Be
I've
careful.
literally never been there.
We love Lancaster and we love our
very
listeners.
hot there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're sorry that if you don't have air conditioning, guys. Shout out to Lancaster.
Sure, it's a beautiful place. I've never been there.
I can't get my computer to turn on. I might need to.
Here.
Can you put that in that?
Oh.
Can you put this in the hole? Guys, this is not what you think it is.
Just
Anyway.
tried to put this. There's too many cords here.
Oh my God, he's holding like the ends of 3
Guys,
cords.
we're technologically challenged. Will it work? Okay. Anyway,
So stupid.
okay, so yeah, did you grow up with a boy dog or a girl dog?
Both, but primarily boy.
Okay, so you're more. I think it's partly that I just only ever have had.
I don't remember the
girl
penis
dogs
thing.
and I'm just like, girl dogs are the way to go. I don't know. That's maybe.
But dogs are boys and cats are girls.
Not in my house. My cat is a boy,
That's true.
and I've never had to see his penis, so I'm happy about that.
That's good.
While you're doing that, I'll tell you what I had a dog interaction today. I was walking here, and this lady was walking with her 2 little dogs, and one of them kept turning around and looking at me and like stopped and I said to the dog, I said, let me get past you so you guys can walk. And then the woman looked me dead in the eye and I was like, oh God, it sounds like I was telling her to get out of my way. And I was just trying to be
I don't
cute
think
to a
so.
dog.
It sounds sweet.
Oh, and then I just kept going.
All right.
The end.
What a
Good
dick
story.
move, Garen.
I know.
Oh, it just sounds like nice. We should get going.
I'm trying.
Oh, you're still not up.
There we go. Okay. It just, I have a computer that's dying and it just takes a little time. It's open now. Here we go. It's all happening. All right. Are you guys ready to learn how to survive anaphylactic shock?
Yes.
Good, because you're going to learn it and you're going to like it. It's a severe allergic reaction. Mm-hmm. You might know that already. Do you know that it can be life-threatening if you don't get treatment right away?
Yes.
Do you know what the main cause is?
Choking. Or asphyxiation.
What is the main trigger that gives it to people?
Oh,
Allergies, right?
but what specific allergy you're saying?
Yeah.
Bees?
I'm going to say, that's a really good guess. I was going to say crustacean. Eating
Food allergies.
yeah.
Peanuts. Probably.
Peanuts,
Yes.
yeah.
I would have been like, my guess would have been like a bee sting. I always think of it as like somebody gets stung by a bee and finds out there, but it's actually food allergies. Yeah. But of course, stinging insects, medications can also cause it.
Uh-oh.
And latex.
Oh.
My husband's allergic to latex. So he cannot be around balloons easily.
He can't be around them. What happens if he's just around them?
Well, he'll start like getting really stuffed up and coughing, and it'll be hard for him to like breathe.
He doesn't even have to touch it. He just has to be around it.
I think he has to touch it.
Yeah.
But like when the kids were little, when we'd have parties, I would buy latex-free balloons.
Yeah, I think when Oliver was little, he was allergic to latex, which I think we just found out from like trying on a Halloween mask or something. And then he would just kind of break out, like his face would get all red and stuff. It wasn't crazy serious.
But now it's over.
I don't know. I mean, we haven't really been trying on Halloween masks of late, but I don't think it's like a thing anymore.
Well, condoms are made of latex.
That is true.
So that's something he will have to figure out. But they have a lot of latex-free condoms. Only treatment is epinephrine. It comes as a shot you inject into your thigh.
Yep.
Keep in mind, even with treatment, a person still needs to go to the nearest emergency room.
Yes.
Okay, but most people with the treatment will fully recover. All right, I'm going to tell you guys what happens during anaphylaxis, okay? So your immune system overreacts by releasing chemicals like histamine.
Yep.
That's why things are called an antihistamine. Here are some symptoms: swelling, wheezing, shortness of breath, difficulty swallowing, okay? The reaction can affect several areas of your body all at once. There are different stages. We like stages on this show, don't we? All right. It comes on fast without much warning. There can be mild signs, hives, flushed skin, and before you die, if you do,
Yeah.
you can have 4 stages, okay? You're probably not going to die. Stage 1.
Acceptance.
Denial.
I'm going to die.
Denial.
I'm not going to die.
Stage 1. Mild is the
Okay.
first stage, okay? This is the skin rash or redness. You can have itching and hives. Stage 2 is a more extensive symptoms where the rash and the hives can be spreading, and you can have mild swelling in your lips or tongue.
Yep.
Not so comfy.
No.
Nobody likes this. Stage 3, you're getting into severe anaphylaxis. Okay, this involves a person displaying signs of difficulty breathing, very extensive swelling, weak pulse, or dizziness. Okay, this is when the person is experiencing anaphylactic shock. Okay, so this is now
First, it's like anaphylactic mild surprise.
exactly.
Anaphylactic caught me off guard. Now it's anaphylactic shock.
Now we're going to get into stage 4.
Okay.
This is life-threatening. It's the last stage. The person loses consciousness, unable to breathe, having inadequate blood flow to vital organs. A person in this stage needs immediate medical attention to avoid death.
That
Right.
happened to me when I was watching the male gymnastics.
Yeah?
You got anaphylactic
Stage 4?
shock.
I got weak in the knees.
You did?
My tongue swelled up. It was very weird.
But then it turned out it was just a response to what you were watching.
Yeah.
Just the
Or
outfit.
Do you keep EpiPens close by?
Just in case.
Just
My
like-
roommate came up and squirted me with a spray bottle. and it
Okay.
kinda
Every
took-
4
took
years
the
he has
smell
to renew his yeah. Those are some cute guys.
Yeah,
Are those your
between
type?
that and Tom Daly. Whew,
Who's
goodness.
Tom Daly?
The diver from Britain.
Oh, I'll have to look him
Oh,
up.
I don't think I saw him.
Beautiful.
didn't-
He's the most famous diver you could probably, besides Greg Louganis, I would assume.
Oh, okay. I didn't see
I
the
don't know anything
diving.
about
He's
yeah.
married to Dustin Lance Black. the
Dustin Lance.
screenwriter.
Wait, Dustin Lance Black. That
Yeah,
sounds so.
He-
It sounds like you're combining 2 different people.
No, he's a screenwriter. He won an Oscar for a movie that I can't even.
Okay, we'll
think
do
of.
that. And then what did we
we'll
learn
look
today?
for it, yeah.
Learn.
Yeah.
Tell us who these hot guys are.
Dustin
Okay.
Lance Black.
A person who has an anaphylactic reaction could go into anaphylactic shock when their blood pressure drops dangerously low. Okay, bronchial tissues, which help carry air, may begin to swell and cause wheezing, shortness of breath, and even lose consciousness. Anaphylactic shock requires immediate treatment to save the person's life. I don't know. I didn't need to read any of that. We already knew all this. Okay. Would you guys like to know how common it is?
I would.
Okay. Estimates vary, Danielle. But the most recent data suggests that a person in the U.S. has a 0.05% and 2% lifetime chance of experiencing it. Okay. I'm going to give you some more data because we are a show that likes data
Yep.
or data. You say
Yeah,
it.
I don't know which.
You say how you like it,
Yeah.
say it. You say how you like it, say it. Okay, each year in the U.S., 3.4 million patients, about the population of Oklahoma, have a food allergy-related emergency room visit. So I would say don't live in Oklahoma,
Well, that's
right?
that's reason number 50.
Have an anaphylactic shock. This means that every 10 seconds, a food allergy reaction sends a patient to the emergency room.
Wow.
So it's common, okay?
I've babysat children. One particular kid, she was allergic to everything.
yeah.
Cheese, dairy, I guess that's nuts, she eventually grew out of it, which
Yeah.
is
Some
interesting.
people do.
But I think she was definitely had to go to the emergency room once or twice. Yeah.
Well, here you go. More than 40% of children with food allergies have experienced a severe allergic reaction, right? Pediatric hospitalizations for food allergy tripled between the late 1990s and the mid-2000s.
Okay. Do they have a reason for this?
I'm going to get to that.
Yes.
Okay. Emergency treatment for anaphylaxis resulting from food increased by 377% between 2007 and 2016. Why?
Yes.
Okay.
Why?
So I read up on it a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't have a complete answer. One theory is the sort of hygiene hypothesis, which is that as we become cleaner as a society,
Okay.
people are not as exposed to the bad bacteria that they need to be exposed to. It sort of makes their bodies like too clean almost. And like this idea of like we're using too much hand sanitizer, we're using like
we get sick because we don't have the proper
we don't have the
defenses.
proper defenses, and that ends up making people more allergic to foods as well. In the same way that it makes us more like vulnerable to being sick.
Is that
Okay.
Was that an American stat you said, or was that a global?
These are stats from the U.S. and people like that's why they'll say like people in it tends to be wealthier and more higher. It's like lower income people don't tend to be as allergic to peanuts and all of these foods as wealthier.
Because lower income people aren't as obsessed with germs?
Yeah. They have bigger things to worry about. Like it's not that they're not clean. They're not living in the sanitation isn't as good. They're
so interesting.
They're sort of not their poverty stricken areas are not going to produce as many kids as allergic to peanuts. Now, this is one hypothesis.
Okay.
It's not like the accepted this is what science found out. So there are probably listeners who are going, Kristine, that's not true. Like there's all this other research that says this.
Right. People used to just let their kids die of peanut allergies. That's my theory. They're just like, whoop, there goes another one.
Yeah, well, they
didn't bring them in.
They couldn't treat them too, right? So some symptoms and causes of anaphylaxis. Okay, anaphylaxis. All right, so I've already gone through some of that. If you have this swelling in your throat, lips, and tongue, shortness of breath, hives, difficulty swallowing, rash. It could also have abdominal pain, chest tightness, diarrhea, feeling of doom or dread.
What? Maybe I have that.
You might just
might
be in a
all
permanent
have that.
state.
Yeah.
We are all just
I need an EpiPen
in
quick.
constant state of
EpiPens
this.
all around.
Vomiting, wheezing. Okay, so if you're having the severe signs like increased heart rate, sudden weakness, unconsciousness, if you're unconscious, guys, I mean, call 911 with your
toes.
Yeah.
Oh, with your mind?
I hope you're next to a friend.
I hope so too.
Or your enemy will do it for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so the symptoms start within 5 to 30 minutes in coming contact with the allergen. So if you get stung by a bee or you're eating a food you're allergic to, it's going to happen pretty fast. But sometimes it can take an hour.
Really?
Yeah, up to an hour, but usually it's going to happen pretty fast. What is biphasic anaphylaxis?
I think that was something that they had on the opening ceremonies.
Yeah.
Oh, they were angry over that.
No.
Biphasic.
I think it's a pin we should all be wearing. It's when you have a second wave of symptoms after the first symptoms go away.
Okay.
Lucky you. So this can be hours or even days after the first wave.
Are they saying after you've been treated, after you take the EpiPen, this can still happen?
Well, guess what they're not saying? They're
okay.
not saying that. About 20% of people who have anaphylaxis get biphasic anaphylaxis. 20%'s a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Here are the main food causes.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Cow's milk.
Oh.
Eggs. Peanuts, we know that.
Yeah.
Shellfish.
Yeah.
I'm mildly allergic to shellfish. I've grown out of it mostly. Soy. Tree nuts. Wheat. Seeds. All right, so those are the foods. Other allergens, these are substances that can cause the allergies that can lead to anaphylaxis. Certain medications, penicillin, NSAIDs, like some Tylenol I just took, dye used for CT scans.
Whoa.
How fun can that be? You're going in for your CT
Holy
scan.
shit.
You're in anaphylactic shock. Latex, we talked about that. Disposable gloves, catheters, adhesive tapes. That's why they always ask you if you're allergic to latex when you go in for a procedure. Right. Insect stings, bees, wasps, hornets, and yellow jackets. Who's at risk?
Everybody.
People who have asthma and who have previously had a severe allergic reaction are at most risk.
Okay.
But they can be unpredictable. Even if you don't experience severe symptoms at first, the second allergic reaction could be life-threatening.
Wow.
Okay? It's important to always have an EpiPen with you if you're a person who has
Yes.
had an allergic reaction. Does pollen cause it?
I don't know.
Okay. Rarely. Obviously, they can cause allergy symptoms, but the chances of pollen or other environmental allergies are very low, guys. Very low. Okay. We already talked about it being life-threatening. Okay. So if you have an underlying medical condition like heart disease or lung disease, especially asthma, it's a medical emergency that should be taken seriously to minimize the risk of serious complications, guys.
Right.
So that's anaphylactic shock.
That's crazy.
You think that's crazy?
Yeah. Oh, you got a story?
I do have a story, and I would love to share it with you.
I would love for you to share it with us.
I'm going to pull that baby up. All right. There were a lot of actually stories of people dying, and I decided not to share one of those. Because, you know, this is called How to Survive.
Right.
Not How to Not Survive.
That's right.
All right. Following a mid-air scare. This is from ABC News, by the way. Thank you to ABC News. My other information was from the Cleveland Clinic. Okay. Following...
Cece. Whoa.
What the heck? Oh, that's me. So I went to ABC News and ABC News was like, oh, you want to see a video of this? No.
With circus music?
Yeah, all the time.
Okay.
Following a midair scare, a doctor is calling for the Federal Aviation Administration to make policy changes and for Southwest Airlines to stock life-saving epinephrine auto-injectors aboard passenger planes.
I'm shocked that is not already
I was
going to
say, that seems like...
Crazy?
Yeah.
Okay, listen to this. Lindsay Ullin, an internal medicine resident physician at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston, was on vacation in March and traveling with her mother and sister on a Southwest flight from Phoenix, Arizona to Austin, Texas, when she said she experienced anaphylaxis, a severe allergic reaction, for the first time.
Oh, that's crazy.
Imagine, how fun is that? You're up in the air. Never happened before.
And she's an adult?
She's an adult.
Huh.
She said she'd had a burger with fries and Brussels sprouts at the airport beforehand and suspects the meal was likely the culprit for her allergic reaction, during which she said she developed hives and had trouble breathing.
Can we just take a step back?
Absolutely.
Hamburger with Brussels sprouts?
She had a burger with fries and Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts were on the side.
I think so. I don't think it was the Brussels sprouts on top of the burger.
Still seems like a weird combination.
I support it because I think she was like, I really want a burger and fries, but you know what? I got to have a vegetable because I'm a doctor.
I don't not support it.
Yeah.
I've just never heard of that combo.
Same.
I love Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts.
That is wild. Okay.
You've never had a Brussels sprout unless you've had it at an airport.
I that's the other thing. I can't believe anyone at an airport would offer such a thing.
Well, I
Unless
gotta
it's
say,
like Chili's to go and it's like deep fried and covered in some glaze or something.
maybe this is, so she's either at the where was she coming from again? Southwest, she's in Phoenix. She's at the Phoenix airport. Maybe there's a restaurant in that airport and they're just, she's like.
All Brussels sprouts all the time?
It's all Brussels sprouts all the time. They're known for their Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
She's like, all I want is a burger and fries, but I cannot leave this airport without getting these Brussels sprouts. Yeah.
Phoenix Airport Brussels sprouts.
They're roasted to a crisp.
Yeah.
And they're delicious.
Right.
Now I want Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts.
Oh, they're so good. When they're done right.
Yep.
Oh, man. Okay. Okay. She developed hives and had trouble breathing. Okay. It was so scary. I felt terrified and scared for my life the entire time. It was also frustrating because as a doctor, I immediately recognized what was happening to me, Ullin told Good Morning America. According to Ullin, when she called for a flight attendant for assistance, she learned the in-flight medical emergency kit didn't have what she needed, an epinephrine auto-injector commonly called by the brand name EpiPen. The device is pre-filled with epinephrine, a prescription medication, and is designed for easy use since there's no need to measure the dosage amount.
Right.
I was still able to speak a little bit at this point. Not very well, but enough to say,
oh my God,
EpiPen. And that was when she told me that Southwest does not carry EpiPens on board, Ullin recalled, adding that no one else on board appeared to have any on hand either after a flight announcement was made. Things were still getting worse, and in that moment, I knew that I was very close to dying, and my family was having to sit there helplessly and watch it happen, Ulin said. It was another doctor on the same flight that Ulin said came to her rescue, administering epinephrine from the medical kit on the Southwest flight. I can't even describe it, just how much it meant when somebody showed up and said, I'm a doctor, I'm going to help you. And I would not be here today if he hadn't been on the flight, because the kind of epinephrine that Southwest carries in their emergency kits is incredibly difficult to use, Ulin said.
Oh, they had it, but just not in the EpiPen form. Okay.
This is so bananas. Ulin said, because the epinephrine was in an ampule and not in an auto-injector format, it took multiple steps and a trained medical professional to be able to administer a safe amount of the drug. When in an ampule, the correct amount of epinephrine would need to be measured out and transferred into syringes before use, according to Ulin.
Right.
The other doctor was able to dig into the emergency kit, find parts of a syringe to be able to get the epinephrine out of the ampule, but then it has to be transferred to a different kind of syringe to be given intramuscularly, which again is another step in a very long and potentially dangerous process, Ulin recountered. Dr. James Baker is the director of Mary H. Weiser Food Allergy Center at the University of Michigan. Baker was not on Ulin's flight or involved in her case, but said in his view it was likely not an appropriate thing to have Ulin trying to treat themselves by trying to figure out how much epinephrine they need to draw to treat their own reaction. Like, you can't even breathe.
Oh my
when
God.
You're having
this is horrifying.
Can you imagine trying to figure out, like, how much do I need? How do I get it out of this?
Why do they even have it on board if no one knows how to use it?
This is bananas. I mean, after the flight landed, Ulin said she was met by emergency medical services and given another dose of epinephrine before being transported to a local hospital for more care. Ulin said she had to get 3 doses of epinephrine and has not had another anaphylactic reaction since then. Allergic reactions while flying can occur, but according to a 2018 JAMA review, that's the Journal of American Medicine, guys, only about 1.6% of in-flight medical emergencies are due to allergic reactions, a statistic the FAA cited in its own 2018 study of allergic reactions, which concluded allergic reactions are rare occurrences. The agency also noted that current contents of emergency medical kits are being reviewed for potential modifications. Over a month since the incident, Ulin said she feels lucky with how her experience ended and is now speaking out and urging the FAA and Southwest to make changes she said will prevent others from going through what she had to endure and save lives. I'm advocating for the FAA to update their requirements for airlines in the emergency medical kits, which they haven't done in almost 20 years and is long overdue. But that must include epinephrine autoinjectors such as an EpiPen. I'm also calling for Southwest to make this change with their own company because I believe they can do it faster than the FAA will be able to enact this legislation. It's a matter of life and death and can't wait any longer. She's written to Southwest and tweeted at the FAA since her experience, but has not yet received a reply. When reached by GMA, the FAA noted that air carriers are not allowed to take off without epinephrine ampules and syringes in flight kits, and said any changes to kits would need to undergo a rulemaking process.
I mean, but if no one knows how to administer it.
I know. It's so dumb. Okay, so it's required in all flights to have these ampules and syringes.
Is an ampule one of those?
I think it's one of those little bottles.
Yeah. That you stick. Okay.
Like you have to break off the top or something. The kits are meant to be used by flight attendants. Flight attendants are trained on emergency procedures, including use of medical equipment. This is really frustrating. Southwest also told GMA in a statement that our aircraft are outfitted with onboard medical kits that adhere to all FAA regulations, including carrying epinephrine in 2 concentrations. The safety and comfort of our customers is Southwest's top priority, and we're looking for ways to improve our in-flight customer experience. The Food and Allergy Research and Education, a nonprofit focused on food allergy advocacy, says the issue of allergic reactions on flights has been a long-time problem impacting millions who have food allergies. This has been a very serious issue for years, as incidents like what happened on Southwest occur on a fairly regular basis. It has been going on for more than a decade. Okay, let's see.
A fairly regular basis, but they said only 1.6% of all incidents are allergies.
Yeah, I think there's a disparity in what each side is saying. Oh, okay. So it's kind of like, whatever I don't know.
So the flight attendants were supposed to be trained in how to use this.
Yeah.
And they critically were not.
Seems like they critically were not.
Okay.
So the in 2019, the DOT decided that those with food allergies could be considered as having a disability and can pre-board a flight to wipe down seating before flight takes off. Thanks for giving me my little pad so I can clean your plane for you.
I don't know that that's gonna. I mean,
but that's not the issue.
They don't serve peanuts on planes anymore anyway, right?
But the reason, so this Baker says the reason airlines don't stock EpiPens is because of high costs. Mm-hmm. So they don't last very long.
I was going to say you have to replace them because they
have to be replaced because they expire, and they have these short shelf lives, so it costs too much. So that's the reason. And now Ulin herself carries EpiPens now all the time. But if you're a person like Ulin who's never had one, if it's you or me, a person or a child who has never had one, you wouldn't know to carry EpiPens. Or like it's crazy. So I think that's pretty wild that they don't have them on planes.
That's
and
crazy.
That they're expecting they're expecting flight attendants to.
I mean, that seems like a really serious procedure.
Yeah,
not serious, but like multi-layered.
You're going to do an intramuscular injection.
Yeah. Buttigieg, get on it. Let's go.
Yeah, come on.
I wonder, I was just looking up the costs of those things, what the differences are.
Yeah.
It's like $600 for a auto thing versus I think I saw one of the ampules for $20.
I'm guessing if you buy them in bulk, they're not $600, but still, I'm sure.
I mean, plus insurance, but that might be part of why they're not.
Yeah, and if it
proactive,
right?
Because
and it probably is extremely rare that someone who has never had an allergic reaction before has it on an airplane. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty rare.
Yeah,
but still, someone might not have brought it or forgotten it or whatever.
Do you think when you fly first class, you just get an EpiPen when you walk through?
They serve the your vodka comes in like an EpiPen. You just shoot it into your glass or shoot it into your mouth
when you're getting your back rub.
Yeah,
by the pilot.
Right.
Your warm towel is soaked in epinephrine.
Yeah. It's funny because when you said that, I was like, I wonder if you could just like, as a last ditch effort, just swallow it, like swallow the liquid or something. Like if you didn't know, I mean, obviously not because it has to be in your muscle, but like if this poor woman was desperate, I can't believe that there was another doctor on board. That's amazing.
It's kind of surprising that nobody had a pen on that entire flight.
I thought so too. Like,
or they did, and they're like, well, what if my kid has an issue?
Oh.
This was $600. That's what they were thinking. Oh, I don't even know her.
I mean, that's really pretty sick. If someone, I guess it's possible.
It's a pretty short flight.
Yeah. Did they do an emergency landing?
No, doesn't sound like
it. Really? They just, okay, that's unusual.
Because maybe there was no shorter place. I mean, it was Arizona to, what did I say?
Phoenix to something.
Las Vegas?
I don't remember.
Guys,
Texas? Somewhere in Texas.
Did I already forget?
I'll
tell you. It's right here. Jeez, guys. It was Phoenix to Austin, Texas. I mean, that's a little hop and a jump and a skip, like he said.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, all those things.
Those three things. It's what that is.
All right, we have a little bit of time. Do you want to tell us about this dog visitor?
Guys, we're having a dog sleepover.
How many nights?
We don't know yet. Maybe not that many nights.
Has she already slept over one night?
She slept over last night. We picked her up yesterday.
What's her name?
Her name is Paprika.
Her name is Paprika?
Yes. She's a shepherd mix.
Oh.
She's so sweet.
Oh, boy.
And lovable and cute and pretty and like loves affection. She loves people. She's really good on a leash.
Why was she abandoned? Why
She's
is she
a stray. She was a high priority stray in the sense of like she really needs to not stay at the shelter because it's so hard for her there. Like, not that it's easy for other dogs, but she was like really, really not doing well at the shelter.
Oh, baby.
And we actually got her from another sleepover. Like she got dropped off from another sleepover and they were like, we love her. We like really wish we could keep her. And she's so great. And we took her. She didn't even go back into the shelter. She went from like one sleepover to us.
Whoa.
And
she's having a summer.
She's having her
hot dog summer.
She's having a hot dog summer, Danielle, like you said. So we were like, she's great. Mm-hmm. They were like, yeah, we have 2 other dogs and she's kind of dog reactive. So we just, we'd keep her otherwise. And we were like, Alex and I took her for a bunch of walks yesterday. And, we didn't run into any other dogs, but we would hear dogs barking at people's houses. And she seemed kind of like, it's okay. I'm cool.
Okay.
I hear some dogs barking. I'm going to look over there, but no big deal. And like, so funny on the walks. She was like chasing butterflies. Oh. It was so cute. And like we would just be walking and she'd flop on the ground and roll around and show us her tummy. And we were like, oh my God, we love her. And then the last walk of the evening, I wasn't feeling that great. And so Sven and Alex took her and they came back and they were like, so we saw another dog. Oh. And it didn't go well. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? Was it like, did you guys run into a dog? And they were like, no, it was across the street. And like, she wanted to kill it. Oh. Like, it was super reactive. Like, very, very reactive.
She was like pulling at the leash.
She was like growling and barking, like baring her teeth. Like,
oh, wow.
Big time aggressive. And I was like, oh. And then Alex was like, I don't like it. Like, this is really stressful and I don't like it. Anyway, we love her. She's going to make a really great dog for somebody.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we got to hear about Paprika.
Yeah.
I hope it all works out. And we will be right back after this.
I can't wait.
Fall is here, and if you want to sleep in the coziest bed imaginable, you have to start with Boll & Branch's best-selling 100% organic cotton sheets. You'll spend every night wrapped in buttery, breathable softness and feel your sheets get even softer with every wash. Discover the difference with Boll & Branch's 30-night guarantee. Plus, get 15% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets. Visit bollandbranch.com and use code WONDERY15. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Canva presents a work love story like no other. Meet Productivity. She's all business.
The Canva doc is done.
Creativity is more of a free thinker.
Ooh, whiteboard brainstorm.
They're worlds apart, but sometimes opposites attract. Thanks to Canva.
The data is in the deck.
And now it's an animated graph.
Canva, where productivity meets creativity. Now showing on computer screens everywhere. Love your work at canva.com.
Kristine, did you have a good break?
I had a great break.
I think neither of us went to the bathroom.
I know.
This is a record.
This is risky.
It is risky because, of course, I have to go. I just didn't.
So you're just going to be like,
it's just going to give me an edge.
Yes.
It's like how athletes use steroids.
Yes.
I'm not peeing.
Yes.
That's going to be my edge.
You've got the edge right now.
I do. I have it.
I was thinking about Pilates.
Yes.
Because it just came up and how I did 10 minutes of Pilates. Because, the New York Times has all these like mini workouts you can do.
I did not know that.
So I do like mini workouts to make me feel like I'm doing something.
Good.
And so I was like, I don't know how she does this every day. I hate this.
You hate it?
I was like, this is so boring.
It's like that SNL sketch. It's so boring, but so hard.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're just doing it on the mat. You're not doing a machine.
I did do machine Pilates once and I also hated it.
Really?
I did. I was like, this is so hard and boring.
I don't find it boring.
But
I find yoga boring.
And I love yoga. So you know what? Potato.
Potato. Milk and Pepsi. Okay. My son and I have been watching Laverne and Shirley. We just got to California and it goes off a cliff.
Just stop watching.
He finds it comforting, even though it's bad. He finds it comforting. So yeah,
it's not a bad comfort food.
Yeah. All right. So on the first half of the show,
yes,
we talked about anaphylactic shock.
Yeah.
Now we're going to talk about shockingly bad landlords with Tammy Golden. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, everybody. How's my sound?
Perfect.
It's great.
Wonderful.
Tammy is a writer who's written on little things you may have heard of, like Mystery Science Theater.
Hello.
Mad Magazine.
Childhood staple.
Right. and Hanging with Dr. Zaius, which is Dana Gould.
It's called Z.
Because it's
Disney owns Zaius.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Does Disney own Planet of the Apes?
Yeah.
Fox.
Wait, Disney owns?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So we call him Dr. Z.
Dr. Z.
We never quite get there.
Okay.
We take a quick
All right,
left
so
at
it's Dana Gould,
Yes.
and I'm blanking on his name, even though I worked with him. The guy who plays his sidekick.
Oh, Paul Greenberg.
Paul Greenberg, right.
Yeah.
And
Very funny. It's Rusty Steele.
Yeah, it's like an interview.
Yeah, it's
show.
like a 1970s Dick Cavett kind of talk show.
Yeah.
But with Dr. Z.
Yeah.
And it's just on YouTube, and it's
Yeah,
short
it's
and
super
sweet.
fun. Yeah. For those of you who don't know Dana Gould, he's a very funny comedian who has written on Simpsons and everything else, and he's obsessed with Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
So you probably had to do a lot. Did you have to do a lot of research?
No, I just had to be from a certain era.
Had to be a certain age.
Yeah.
Okay. I love it.
That usually doesn't work out that way.
I know, it's usually. I know. That's
Guys,
awesome.
between MST and that, it's the only thing where being, an older woman
Yeah,
is...
it's helpful.
Yeah.
So, Tammy, what is your story here?
Well, for the last 20 years, I've been living in an apartment that has been run by more or less ancient, angry slumlords.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
20 years?
20 years.
Commitment.
In Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles.
Okay.
Good part of Los Angeles. I have my own parking spot. And other than that, it's been pretty hellish.
Okay.
For lots of reasons.
Is there a reason you haven't left?
Yes. The
parking
rent
spot?
is very good.
The rent's very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as good as it used to be, but very good.
And a
especially
parking spot.
for a parking spot. The neighborhood. I'm in Los Feliz. I'm like,
Oh,
right
that
in
is a nice
Hollywood
area.
Vermont. I mean, there's a lot of homeless. There's a lot of drugs, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people screaming every Saturday night
Oh.
about
Yeah.
Gotcha.
imaginary creatures.
Right.
Is that rather new, or has that been the whole
Oh
time?
no, that's not new.
Yeah.
That came with the lease, right?
They did.
That was in the lease.
They're pets. They count as pets. So there's a lot of like really shady stuff around there too. But
Have you ever gone apartment looking for other places?
Never.
Oh, okay.
No, I feel very, very, very lucky.
It's a
to
very
have it.
great neighborhood.
Yeah, it's a great
I
neighborhood.
mean, it's
My
very
place,
cool.
It's very cool. My place doesn't have a stove.
Oh.
It has the same ceilings as your studio here,
Oh,
the drop cardboard
no.
ceilings. Nothing is built to code. Nothing. So there are no straight, like, right angles in my entire
Are there
apartment.
windows, Tammy?
There's
Tell
a
us about windows.
fantastic-
Are they
I have-
paying you to live there?
I know. I have a fantastic, like $1 million view of like the observatory and
Oh,
the
wow.
Hollywood sign
Yeah.
from my place.
Oh, wow.
But they put one of those kind of gates over the window inside.
No.
Yeah. So it's
That's
like
crazy.
I know. It's like, am I in
You have
jail?
bars. You have literal bars
And
inside
then
your house.
you can't, because they're close together. You can't actually Windex
Oh my god.
anything.
So it's just like 20 years of filth.
Well, I actually I took it out.
Oh, you took the
eventually.
bars out.
I
Okay.
took the bars out, and my landlord was furious at me until I told him maybe I can sell them, and then he was very happy. I never sold them.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so what
So
do
bad.
these people do that is so awful?
they.
Besides that.
So I moved in 2005.
Okay.
Rachel Arieff, I don't know if you know her.
I do.
She moved to Spain to be
Yes.
with a fella, and so she offered me the place. Like,
Okay.
yeah. And her taste in decor is different than mine. When I moved in, there was puke green walls.
Yeah.
It's kind of lime puke green. Maybe you'd been there.
I'm trying to remember if I've been there. I think I was at her place when she was still married to Bob.
Yeah, same place.
Oh, it's the same place. So maybe I was there. I may have been there. I'm not sure.
You may have
But
blocked out certain
she's
parts.
very quirky, so I could see her
Yeah.
having some kind of unorthodox taste.
Puke green walls, but every 3 inches there was a applied by sponge, gold
No.
dots. Every inch.
No.
And I know it was.
This is some trading places
nauseating,
type
yeah.
of
But like from
decor.
the 90s.
Yeah, the sponge painting.
Yeah,
But,
I did a sponge thing, but that was like 1996.
Yeah, and I'm
I
sure
think.
it was artistic. I'm sure it wasn't dots every. They were the only things that were right angled in the entire apartment. Like, wow, you got that right.
And that's not easy to cover.
No.
It's not? You can't just do a...
Like gold and green, like it's not like you can just put like a white over it, right?
No,
or like
there were-
a pale color. You have to like put something
Yeah.
thick to cover it, I think.
When I took the apartment, I said, "Hey, so can you paint the walls and put in new carpeting because it was like cat piss stained, filthy 30-year-old carpeting."
no.
Right.
And they wouldn't. So
Oh, my God.
And at that point I didn't know my the laws and my rights so well, and also it was so cheap.
Right.
Yes.
So I painted it, and it took like you said, like 3 layers of paint. But you can still see the outline of the sponge polka dots everywhere. And I replaced all, like, the ceiling tiles were just warped and brown, and I replaced all of those. And
Wow.
it just like, okay, this is
Now it's livable.
a little better.
Okay.
And that's the end of my story. Just
Is
kidding.
it a one bedroom? Is it a single?
It was a doctor's office, so it was just, a box, but they threw up some drywall badly and called it a bedroom. And it's like, oh, okay, for my purposes,
Right.
fine.
Okay.
I know I could put my finger through this.
Right. And the bedroom has no door, I'm taking it.
The bedroom does have a
it
door.
does have a door. Okay.
So it's technically
It's technically a
one
bedroom.
a one
Okay.
bedroom. What else can I say about it? The 2005 is when hardline phones were still existing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If kids remember those.
Yes.
And your son probably doesn't.
We had one up until
that's
a few
sweet.
years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's sweet. Wow. Never mind. Anyway, there was a restaurant 2 offices below me, 1 other apartment next to me, and all of our phone lines somehow were stationed in my closet. So anytime anyone needed a repair of any type, they would have to come into my apartment, into my
It sounds
closet.
like something from like Brooklyn in the 50s or something.
I
It does
know,
not seem
right?
Like, okay.
Yeah, it was. The sink was. I mean, we're 5'2" at the best at a good day.
Yeah.
The sink was super low, and so I had to like, crouch to use it. There was like a bar by the toilet. It's like, oh, so it's handicapped accessible, but it's on the 2nd floor.
Who needs this? Right.
Yeah,
Well,
who-
maybe if you're keeping someone if you're keeping an old person hostage.
Oh, yeah, that
you
would be
got them
great.
up there, and then
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah,
I
then it's
hadn't even
perfect.
thought about
Yeah.
that.
See all the
Oh,
things
now
you
it
can
makes
do?
sense.
Yes.
Now it makes sense. Oh, I never thought of it that way.
Nope.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. What else is wrong with the sink?
So you said did you get the sink repaired?
Well, yes.
You eventually got a
Over
person-
decades
Yeah.
later. That's all kind of recent. But the sink wasn't really attached to the wall. I got the kitchen sink. As I said, there was no stove because it wasn't,
So what
no
did you
gas.
do for food?
I microwaved, or
Okay.
I went out because
Yeah.
I thought I could at that point. There's a stand-up shower that would last for about 8 minutes before getting cold.
Oh,
So,
my God.
like a youth hostel, if you've
This
ever
is
been one.
horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, and the there were also like tiles. Everything was mismatched. Like those sticky tiles in the kitchen and bathroom that weren't the same and were
Oh, my God.
peeling up. And
No wonder they got divorced. Jesus.
Rachel loved
This
it.
place. Rachel loved it. Yeah.
But I don't know if Bob did. But
Yeah.
that's another
That's another story.
That's another story. Anyway, all this was, not great.
Yeah.
But what made it bad is that the landlords were, I think, in their late 70s.
Okay.
Greek, really just angry. They're always screaming at each other in Greek. And that would be fine if that was on their own time. They lived in Glendale. I live in Los Feliz.
Oh, okay.
So they didn't live in the area. But they came there every single day.
What?
to do something like something useless, like
Make it worse.
Yeah, pretty much. Dig through garbage, hose off the cars. Actually, hose off the parking lot, but all the grime would get on everyone else's cars.
Oh,
like,
geez.
what are you doing? Just kind of stuff that was not needed, and they could have hired somebody to do.
Right.
But then they would also just come up and bang on my window like a zoo animal, and let themselves in. It's just like before, yeah.
That can't be legal, right?
It isn't, but at the time, I was being polite. They were, Dee, the woman, Diamante Tsukalas, was clearly very lonely and but deranged. And she would come up and bring me figs from her garden, which were awful, and just like, oh, my doctor says I can't climb stairs, my feet. Like, but you just climbed 2 levels to tell me that. and just there was always like drama and weirdness and anger, and just I don't think I ever saw either one of them smile.
Oh.
But yeah, they would just let themselves in to talk to me, and it was like, can I not be naked in my own?
Oh my God!
Apartment?
Oh,
Luckily, they were early morning people, so I knew by noon on I'd be pretty safe. But yeah, once she let herself into my apartment while I was showering.
Oh my God!
I
you
just
ever
like
say,
came into
"Don't
the
do
bathroom,
that"?
and I'm just like, Dee, what? And she left. And that didn't happen again, luckily.
Oh, good.
But yeah, there was no none of
Boundaries?
that. None of that. So yeah, I would start getting like stomach aches when I heard their truck come up. And if if your parents were fighty when you were kids,
They were.
that's I don't know.
It just brought back all that.
Yeah, because they were all. I would hear these people screaming at each other in the. So it was just bad, and they would like to
drive
boss people
all the way
around.
from Glendale to just scream in front of
exactly.
their renters.
Exactly.
They were like, we must go trigger this woman.
Yes.
Time to go trigger her.
She isn't too good.
She does. They started getting really angry at me because the building had plumbing problems. Mm-hmm. The reason it had plumbing problems because the restaurant, which used a lot of lard, and every other office apartment was on one water line together, which is if
one
you
phone
use,
line, one water line.
Exactly. So the restaurant used a lot of lard, so things kept kind of bubbling up.
Whoa.
And the landlords wouldn't believe it. It's like, no, water goes down. Like, well, not if there's lard in the water, and it's
right.
And they kept blaming me, only me, for the entire.
Why?
Because they could.
Okay.
They also misogynistic and a little anti-Semitic.
Oh, great!
But they didn't say that for
Twofer.
me. I found that out through. The anti-Semitic stuff I found out through other people.
Oh,
and,
nice.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, and he would just say, the landlord would just say things like, I wish I had a gun so I could shoot all women. So I'm like, okay.
Oh, fun.
All right. And we would have arguments, and they would tell me I didn't understand English so good. And, there's so like, you respect your elders. Like,
what?
If I called them on a lie. Like
you respect your elders like you're their child.
Yeah, just that, like, we are 80 and therefore put up with our bullshit, and I don't deal with bullies too well. So they would tell these bizarre lies that didn't help anyone or hurt anyone. They're just useless. Like, they told me somebody parked in my spot one night, so I parked in another spot. It was empty, unused, no big deal. But the next morning, they banged on my door. It's like, why are you not parking your spot? I'm like, well, somebody was in it last night, so I just went to a different spot. Like, well, they gave you a ticket, but they gave it to us. Like, what? So police came onto private property and somehow just sensed
that this car is in the wrong place.
This car's in the wrong place, and they gave you the ticket. Okay.
Yeah, why do they care?
No reason. It was just, it's a power thing.
Yeah.
And, they would leave.
They wanted you out, too, so they could raise the rent, right?
Well, that's kind of where it was going. But it was just, they just didn't like me anymore. They also had a son in his 50s, I'd say, and he was. You ever see? I want that documentary about that filmmaker's American.
Yes. Yeah.
Like his weird buddy.
Yeah.
The very, very drugged out.
Coven.
Was,
right?
Yes. But not the main guy. His buddy who was just so far gone.
Yeah.
That was their son.
Okay. That was literally their son? Or
no.
Like their son? Okay.
No. Although they do have something in common, which is that they are both dead.
Oh, okay. Oh, the son's dead. Okay.
I'm jumping ahead of myself.
Gotcha.
But when they were trying to, he would come around and say, like, I'm kind of a handyman, and he'd fuck things up. And sorry, I don't know if I can swear.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like, they replaced my boiler and dropped it so it was just rolling down the stairs. Just like, that's so
God,
weird.
The worst.
Like, and he was, I think, probably a sweet guy, but he had no chance. He was a former drug addict. He would say, like, AA or mantras to try to calm himself down, because they would scream at him like a child.
Oh my God.
In front of everyone.
Oh.
And it was really sad. But when I did eventually fix up the apartment with their permission, I used a ton of my own money because they weren't going to do it.
Right.
And
you got a stove?
I actually no, I got one of those glass things, but I put in a kitchen counter and I put like beautiful laminate on all the floors, so everything's like hardwood.
Oh, good. Yeah.
And it's gorgeous.
You probably
painted it
way up the value of that apartment.
Way up the value. Yeah. Of course, Dee, the landlady, said she preferred the carpet.
Oh, God.
Of course he did.
She preferred 30-year-old disgusting carpet.
Yeah. And I found out when I got rid of the carpet, like the black mold and everything, I wasn't snoring anymore.
Oh, God. Right. Because you were allergic to it.
Yeah. All that time I'd been having health issues, and it was due to them. And then shortly after that, they were like, hey, what's important now is your relationship to God and your family.
Whoa!
And maybe you should go. Like, well, I'm an atheist.
Maybe you should go?
Yeah, like we'll pay you to go. Like, I don't want to go.
But what is the connection between your relationship with God and your family and staying in the apartment?
I think they thought they were being wise, and it's just like, follow the important things, like
getting out of our apartment?
Like getting out of their apartment. I don't know why they thought that either one of those things had any correlation to me. But it's like, okay, so now that I fixed this place up beautifully, you want me out. You want me out. It's like, I've been a great tenant, and I have everyone's against you, not me, and everyone would stand up for me in court. So this is like late 2020 or something, and I knew I could fight that. But then he said, well, maybe I put my son and his wife in the apartment instead. And it's like, well, first of all, your son doesn't have a wife. That's I don't know. But it's like, that is the one thing that I cannot fight legally. If you are putting your own offspring,
is that true?
If you're moving your own offspring or like direct family into the apartment, you can.
Okay.
And so I was in a real panic, and then COVID happened, and the lockdown happened.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they can't evict me right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Luckily, the timing was just right.
Right.
So I figured, well, how long can this last? Probably, a month or two.
Right. So did we all.
Yeah, so did we all. But it lasted a little longer. So they came around a little less after that, because they always had health problems. When they did come, of course, they weren't wearing masks.
Of course.
And eventually I thought, I would really like to get a dog. I am living alone in.
She got this wonderful dog.
I wouldn't say wonderful, but she's great.
Well, she's photogenic.
Thank you.
I have not met her, but
That's
I've
all
seen
that matters
pictures of her.
in LA. She's very beautiful.
Is it oatmeal? That's not
her name is Toast.
Toast.
Close.
I knew it was some breakfast food.
I thought, if I ever get a dog, I'll name them Bagel. And then I got her. It's like, she just doesn't feel.
She's not Jewish.
She doesn't.
She's a shiksa. We need to name her Toast. Yeah.
Exactly. So I went into plans of getting a dog because medically you can, if you get a letter, it becomes legal. So I asked them, hey, can I get a dog? I need one, and I can do it legally. And their son were there, and they screamed at me like, no dog lease. Like, I was actually already in process. I had every intention of doing it. But they yelled at me, the parents, and they got in the car, and they yelled at their son to come join them like a child.
Uh-huh.
But he was like, I'll try to reason with them about the dog.
Okay.
Like, oh, thank you. Anyway, 4 days later, he died.
Oh my God. The son died.
The son died.
Oh.
I don't know why. Guessing an overdose.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he
maybe
never
his
had
imaginary
a chance.
wife killed him.
Maybe. I mean, that poor guy.
so sad.
It really was.
Probably didn't help making them less angry.
Yeah.
No. No, but I'm sure they did blame themselves, and they as good as killed him.
Right.
Yeah. So that was really sad, but it meant that the only thing they could have done to evict me was gone.
Loophole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if this were a Columbo, you would have murdered him so
Definitely.
that you
Yes.
could have stayed in the apartment.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, did
Poor
you
guy.
want to come out now and say that?
Yeah, did you murder him?
Well, I won't say that I wasn't involved. Right now, I'm okay. And if I do go, they're going to have to pay me a lot of money legally to leave.
They do?
Yeah, that's L.A. or
That's
California
right.
law.
Yeah. If they kick you out,
If it
yeah.
were in Illinois, you're out. Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But they have to pay me a certain amount, and I think also per year I've been there, 20 years. So
oh, nice.
Get your paycheck, right? Get your
Yeah.
payday.
anyway, that about puts us up to. I skipped a lot of just awful stuff, but you get the gist.
I get the gist.
I mean,
That's a lot.
What you didn't
20
skip
years.
was pretty
bad.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Tammy.
But what you will do for inexpensive rent in LA.
I was gonna say-
I could not have been here.
No, I know. And parking, when I had my apartment by myself, I did not have parking.
Oh.
And it was, parking tickets and being towed and being robbed at gunpoint.
Oh,
and,
no.
Yes.
schlepping groceries a block away and all that
Yes.
stuff. So I get it.
To the listeners who
God.
have not lived in Los Angeles before, or maybe just a major city, let us not overstate the importance of parking.
It's unbelievably
It is such a big deal. When
sorry.
No, I was just going to say before we bought our house and we lived in sort of LA Hancock Park, Hollywood Hancock Park adjacent, we had an apartment and we had newborn twins and we did not have parking and we had to move the car, like on the other side of the street. And then I would have to get the groceries and 2 newborns out and then like get in the house. And it's
my God.
nightmare.
I can't imagine doing it with kids.
Oh, and a pit bull. Like you're just like, why
That's
are
crazy.
we here?
That is so crazy.
I mean, it's why we live in this boring suburbs now. But like parking is, and I never had I never had parking the whole time I lived in LA. It was always like, and at night it's kind of rough when you're a single lady.
Yep.
And you're like, you go to a show or whatever, you go see your friend's one woman show, and then or whatever, and you're
Name names. Who was she?
oh, I'll never do that. But you get home and if it's after 11,
you're like, oh, fuck.
if really in LA, if it's after 9:30, you're not getting a parking spot close to your house,
No.
so you're 2 blocks away.
Yep.
Walking alone.
I didn't even think about it. It's just like,
it
it's
sucks.
to do.
It's so hard.
Yeah, no, I've been really lucky. I mean, I've had to chase junkies out of our lot plenty at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
But luckily none of them have fought back.
Yeah.
I've been very, very, very lucky because somebody would leave the gate open or whatever.
It's crazy.
But I'm really lucky to have a parking space and so the things I did for. I can't believe it's been 20 years, but
best
it's
of
been
luck with this new
we
imminent change.
we hope this niece
Hopefully
is not as
she'll-
bad.
I mean,
or-
the fact that they have a rental
she's as bad.
property company is
yeah, the rental property
Right.
company that will help put a barrier between you and her.
Yeah, that they have done. I never have to see them again. I don't have that. I had that constant tightness in my stomach for, over a decade.
oh my
Wow.
And you forget about it. It's just like, oh my God.
Sometimes you don't. Yeah, you live for something for a really long time. You don't realize how bad it is till it's
Yeah.
removed.
Ugh,
Well, I'm glad it's better.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's wonderful right now.
That's so great. Tammy, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was
for
great
coming
story.
and telling your story. Say hi to Toast
I
for
will.
me.
Yes,
I will.
please.
And we will be right back with What Did We Learn Today?
This episode is sponsored by AutoTrader. There's a good chance you're driving right now. Look around. Safely. What do you see? Cars. Lots of them. And guess what? They're probably on AutoTrader. Whether you're into timeless classics or the latest trends. Did somebody say solar-powered, eco-friendly, vegan, leather-wrapped, aromatherapy-scented, disco ball-equipped, self-driving car? If you see it on the road, you can likely find it on AutoTrader. Big cars, small cars, blue cars, new cars, used cars, electric cars, and one day, maybe even flying cars. With millions to choose from, buying a car becomes a whole lot easier. See it, find it, AutoTrader. Find your next car on autotrader.com.
This podcast is brought to you by eHarmony, the dating app to find someone you can be yourself with. Why doesn't eHarmony allow copy and paste in first messages? Because you are unique, and your conversations should reflect that. eHarmony wants you to find someone who will get you. How are you going to know who gets you if people send you the same generic conversation starters they message everyone else? Conversations that actually help you get to know each other. Imagine that. Get who gets you on eHarmony. Sign up today.
Kristine.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi, Kristine. Are you ready to learn what we learned today? Is that what I usually say? Yeah.
You learn us.
Can I learn
so
you
good.
something?
Learn me so good.
Latex allergies are rare, affecting 1 to 6% of the general population. However, they are more common in people who are regularly exposed to latex. That's interesting. Such as healthcare workers, dental professionals, and rubber industry workers. For example, 8 to 12% of healthcare workers and 10 to 17% of dental care workers have been diagnosed with latex allergies.
Wild.
I would think it would be the opposite.
Yeah, I would too.
There's people have started taking balloons to the Taylor Swift concerts and like putting their phones, like when she sings Willow, she has that globe thing, if you guys know.
Yeah.
So they're doing that and they're like shining their light through the balloon so it glows up and like everyone has it in the audience. It's really cool looking.
Okay.
But they're saying don't do that because people in the crowd could have a latex allergy.
Yeah.
You know, the 1 or 3 people in the entire
But
place.
is it just like they're holding the balloon the whole time until it gets to that?
Well, I think they blow it up and when it gets close and then they shine their light through it so it glows or whatever.
Okay. They're not like a million in the movie theater in the theater holding
the red balloon.
Dustin Lance. Wait, why did we mention Dustin Lance Black? Who is he married to?
He's married to somebody
Tom
that
Daly.
Garen has a crush on.
Okay. Yeah. Dustin Lance Black is American screenwriter, director, producer, and LGBT rights activist. He is known for writing the film Milk. For which he won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay in 2009. He has also subsequently written the screenplays for the film J. Edgar and the 2022 crime series Under the Banner of Heaven. Oh.
That was good.
That was great. He may be better known as the husband to British Olympic diver who just won a silver medal, Tom Daly.
I bet they're both really good looking.
Yeah. Dustin Lance Black is not very good.
One of them is.
He's a handsome man, but
I've noticed.
He's no Garen.
He's no Garen.
He's no Garen. Anyway, I guess that's about it for today. That wraps it up.
Did a good job. We did a good.
Yes.
I watched Wicked Little Letters last night,
and
I fucking loved it.
It's adorable, right?
It's so
good.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm so glad.
I really liked it.
Oh,
Yeah.
good,
It's really
good.
I mean,
Olivia Colman is so good, and that other girl, the Irish lady.
Jesse Plemons. No, Jesse. Sorry, she was
Potato Face Matt Damon.
How good Jesse Plemons is.
She was in a movie with Jesse Plemons, so that's why I said that.
Yes.
Jesse Metcalf. No, that's the guy from.
Yep, different guy.
That's the guy.
Let's see if we can think of her name without googling it. Jesse. Housewife. Jesse. I can think of.
Why can I
she's
never
in.
remember it?
MacArthur. Jesse.
McGillicuddy.
Jesse McAllister. Jesse.
Starts with a B.
Nope.
He's telling us it does.
I know. I can't. I'm not
Jesse
getting.
Bartram. Bearcat.
Yes.
Jesse Bearcat.
Buckley. Jesse Buckley.
Jesse Buckley.
I can never commit it to memory. Jesse Buckley. Yeah.
I just did. I just committed it to your memory.
Buckley. Like the Buckley School. Okay.
It's on Netflix, so if anybody wants to watch it, I would highly recommend it.
Yes. All of your watch it with your mom or your aunt, guys.
Yeah, it's that kind of it's cozy.
It's a cozy movie. Nice. Yeah. Well, on that note, and then we can say goodbye to everyone. I did watch the first episode of Presumed Innocent, which is a show. Remember the movie?
Yeah.
I loved that movie.
Harrison Ford?
Yep, based on a book. This time it's Jake Gyllenhaal.
Okay.
And it's well cast, well acted. Oh, Jake Gyllenhaal and his brother-in-law, if you guys know who his brother-in-law, Sarsgaard.
Yeah.
Peter,
Oh, yeah.
Is it Sars or Scars?
I think it's
Scars.
He's Scars, and the other ones are Stars, right?
He's an incredible actor.
Is he?
I think he is. I think he's great in everything. He can play a creep. He can be charming. He can be a dick. Oh, here's another weird cast. Not weird casting. The husband from give me a second. I'm gonna get it. The Handmaid's Tale. Mm-hmm. The Elizabeth Moss husband.
Oh,
her husband.
Oh, the hot. The black guy. Uh-huh.
Yes. So very different in this. So he's thicker. So he looks. At first, I didn't recognize him, but it could be like 5 pounds. You know, but like it totally changes how he looks.
Yeah.
And he's got a very different voice.
Is it good? The show? Would you recommend it?
Here's the thing. I know the movie.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
I'm
very
like,
well.
I don't know if I need to watch 10 episodes of this.
Yeah.
But yes, it's good.
What is it on Apple or something?
It's on Apple.
Have? Yeah, okay.
But I want you to watch a clip of it just so you can hear that actor talk.
Okay.
Anyway, I watched, I was like, this is good. And then I was like, I don't think I need 9 more episodes of this.
I guess that was part of my feeling about Ripley. Was like,
I haven't gone back.
I read the book and watched the movie.
I haven't gone back. Even though it's so well lauded and loved and people like it, I watched a couple episodes and I was like, all right, I got it.
Same.
Okay, guys.
Peter Sarsgaard is.
Oh, he is Sarsgaard. The other guys are Skarsgård.
Oh, yeah, because we always call him Skin Scarf. Alexander Skin Scarf.
So gross.
It's so gross.
Why do you call him that? Because he always wears a scarf?
I don't know.
Because he's uncut?
He might. Oh, he's definitely uncut.
Oh, right, because they're European.
Yes, Europeans are uncut.
Oh. Does that affect how the baby comes out or something?
No.
Is that why you looked at Alex?
I don't know.
What is she supposed to know about it?
Nothing. I don't know why. Okay, guys.
I know you're a naked family and all, but
yeah.
Oh, for God's sake. All right. Until next time,
remain calm.
Oh my God. We are clowns.